I tell you right now, you, Ben Shapiro. I'll beat you. And look, if you mess with Candace Owens, I promise you, if you lay one little greasy finger on Candace Owens, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to roll up on you, shirts off.
What's up, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and things are heating up, I guess, in the Ben Shapiro versus the world? The Ben Shapiro versus other conservatives, maybe Christians, as the conservative twins had a podcast with an MMA fighter known as Bryce Mitchell, who had some interesting words over the ouster of Candace Owens. Now, I think it's safe to say at this point that Candace Owens was fired over her views on Israel. I don't think that the Daily Wire has come out strongly or very strongly to contradict that in a convincing way. I think based on the things that Candace has said and based on the things that Ben has said, their views were incompatible and they went their separate ways. Last week, we found out that the Daily Wire was publicly negotiating a debate between Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens, while also secretly behind the scenes negotiating for a gag order in which would bar her from speaking about the Daily Wire. Now, to be fair, this order, I assume, was already in place as far as part of, termination papers or part of whatever their severance package was to her. You're not allowed to disparage your company. That's not a uniquely evil thing that Daily Wire did. The thing that people have a problem with is not necessarily that, because non-disparagement agreements are common, but it's that they were publicly, saying, hey, let's have a debate. We're going to debate, name a time, name a place, while at the exact same time, at least according to Glenn Greenwald, they were negotiating with a lawyer to tell her that she wasn't allowed to speak up. Now, apparently, UFC fighter Bryce Mitchell has issued a menacing threat against Ben Shapiro over Candace Owens' feud. Bryce Mitchell is the latest personality to stand up for Candace Owens amid her reported dispute with Ben Shapiro in a way that is unique to his personality. The UFC featherweight took off his shirt during an interview on the Twins podcast while delivering a stern threat to Shapiro in support of Owens. Mitchell joined the Twins podcast hosts, Keith and Kevin Hodge, on the 12th episode of the Political podcast to discuss their shared conservative views and ended the show with a passionate rant on Shapiro. Thug Nasty told Shapiro that he would kick his blank if he laid a finger on Owens. Interestingly enough, I'm going to show the clip for that. We're going to look at what he actually said. I took a little look into this Thug Nasty individual. He's very interesting, very passionate flat earther, apparently. I don't understand how that keeps happening. But maybe I'll bring someone on and give him a chance to convince me one day. Anyways, Shapiro, the co-founder of the political news site Daily Wire, released Owens from her contract with the platform in early 2024 due to conflicting opinions. And I think that that's basically the generally accepted, generally believed reasoning behind it. The two controversial and outspoken influencers reportedly had opposing religious views that led to the end of their professional relationship. In the months since she departed the company, Owens has claimed to be interested in having a public debate with Shapiro regarding their high-profile feud and opposing views. Going back to late April, she tweeted, "Very many of you keep asking for an update regarding my debate with Ben Shapiro. My team reached out immediately, suggesting the first week I was back in the States. We were informed the proposed date could not work for Ben due to the holiday, but have not heard back." Fair. Despite multiple emails, we are still very keen to make this healthy debate happen regarding Israel and the definition of anti-Semitism at its earliest convenience. I think ultimately that's never going to happen. I think we all basically know that's never going to happen at this point. Owens now posts her own content on her self-owned independent website, which requires a subscription to access. Bryce Mitchell's call out of Ben Shapiro on the Twins pod briefly went viral on MMA Twitter, causing several other fans and fighters to react. Of them, controversial personality and former UFC title challenger Jake Shields showed his support of Mitchell, and for Owens on X, Shields appeared to agree with every sentiment Mitchell made. He wrote Bryce Mitchell dropping fire. Of course, we know how Jake Shields feels about Ben Shapiro, so I'm not surprised he would have agreed with that. Although I'm starting to strongly dislike Ben Shapiro myself. And you see what's interesting is if we actually look at this clip, here he is.
When we launch this podcast, it's going to be very controversial.
No, absolutely.
Controversial. I know people is going to attack you. Are you ready for that?
I fear no man. I fear God and God alone. I fear no demon in hell. I'll cast him out in the name of Jesus Christ.
So you're not scared of Ben Shapiro?
He's a bitch.
By the way, there's going to be some language here. It's as loud as it goes for the clip. This is an MMA fighter, so, he's going to use MMA language.
Ben Shapiro's a bitch, and let me tell you why he's a bitch, because ain't he the one always talking about how we need – first off, he's dehumanizing the enemy. He's dehumanizing the enemy. He's saying these people aren't human. They're heathens. They're heathens. That's him justifying his want to go bomb them.
Yeah.
They're humans, you dummy.
They label Palestinians, the people that used to originally live there, amongst the Jews and the Muslims in Palestine. They're labeling them like they're not even citizens of Israel. They dehumanize they don't even recognize those people as citizens. And then they go in as far as bombing their own people, and they say, "Oh, we fighting terrorism."
And that's the kind of hatred that's going to lead towards World War III. It's a bunch of Ben Shapiros telling you, "Oh, you got to give up your life to go fight my war for me."
100% right. By the way, there are, political commentators too are famously always telling their listeners that they're the ones that should be making the sacrifices and they should quit their jobs and they should take their kids out of kids' sports and they should make all these sacrifices when none of them are going to be on the front line. So I'm always skeptical of those individuals. I mean, they exist, by the way, on both sides of the political aisle. It just depends what the cause is, right? All these, pro-Palestine people would probably demand, they are demanding that people make sacrifices that they themselves aren't making. And the pro-Israel people are doing the same thing. My position is and will always be to stay the heck out of it and just let them handle it. I'm pretty sure Israel can handle it. Ben Shapiro himself famously said, Israel can defend herself, and I do believe that Israel has every right to defend themselves, okay? I'm not interested in getting involved in the individual personal politics of this conflict because I care about Americans. Now, you want to talk about American hostages? I 100% support using aggressive, over-the-top, whatever, by all means necessary force to free them. I don't believe in negotiating with these losers. I believe in sending in our top men and wiping them from the face of the earth and saving the American citizens. But outside of that, I don't care. I don't have, again, I've always said, we have a massive invasion going on our southern border. We have, pill problem in this country, 100,000 Americans dying to that. We've got homelessness. We've got mental health issues. We've got insane inflation. People can't afford to buy freaking groceries for their families. And meanwhile, they sent another, I saw a tweet, I don't know, it's just a tweet, so you don't know if it's true. But I saw they had approved another $400 million in aid for Ukraine over the weekend or on Friday or something like that. I mean, billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars being allocated for Ukraine and Israel. Probably could do a little better to stop the free flow of these pills into this country. Could probably help, put resources in place for mental health. Could probably, help our veterans, improving the VA, which was a disaster. All these things. And I feel like I'm not alone in feeling this way. I don't think that, that it's crazy to want money made and taxed of Americans to go to Americans.
He wants you to go save all the Jews over there. By saving the Jews, he means bomb the Muslim kids. That's what Ben Shapiro wants, and he's too big of a bitch to come out and say it. I'll say it right to his face. I tell him he's a bitch. He wants to bum off my tax dollars. Hey, does Ben Shapiro weld? Does he do plumbing? Does he do electrics?
Nope.
What does he do for this country? Oh, he sits on his bitch ass and gets my taxes. I tell
Based. I mean, based.
You right now.
Oh, here we go.
Fuck you, Ben Shapiro. I'll beat your ass. And look, if you mess with Candace Owens, I promise you, if you lay one little greasy finger on Candace Owens, I'm going to beat your ass. I'm going to roll up on you, shirts off. I'm going to have the twins with me. We're going to beat your ass because you mess with Candace Owens. We're gonna be looking shirts off, me in the middle. We're going to look like a 6-foot-tall Oreo coming at you, buddy. We're going to stomp your ass to the ground. Don't you mess with Candy, baby. I'm telling you right now, I don't like Ben Shapiro. I'll say it to his face. Bring him on the show. Because he wants Christian people in this country that he already steals their tax dollars off of. He's part of this corrupted government. He's a piece of shit just like the rest of them. He wants us to go die to bomb Muslim kids for his Jewish people because he's too scared to do it.
I mean, this is true of all. I mean, this is basically true of all warmongers and warhawks. John McCain's and all these people. Yeah, we want to steal your tax dollars. We want to make sure that we use them to go, drone brown kids is essentially it. It's for the greater good or whatever it is that they want to say. And I'm not playing with that. I'm sick of it. I feel completely unrepresented in the way my tax dollars are being spent. It's insane. And I think Candace is taking some heat for her $5,000 a minute. I don't know. They got her thing up a neck. Oh man, PBD tried to get me to sign up for this. I'm not charging my fans to talk to me or my viewers. No shot. Anyway, the Minek backlash was kind of funny. But nonetheless, I like this kid. I'm not sure I buy into his flat earth stuff, but he's definitely right about our government taking our money and using it to bomb brown kids. Shout out. Who do you think would win in a fight? Thug Nasty or Ben Shapiro? Let me know in the comment section down below. We'll talk to you again real soon.